Turning to another twist in the legal battle over the National Guard in Chicago and in the suburbs.
A federal judge is making a decision which is impacting the troops who are already in the area today. NBC5's Lisa Chavarria is live with the details. And Lisa, there is a hearing scheduled for this morning. Tell us more about that.
That's right, Patrick and Michelle. So the question is, what is exactly going to be happening at this meeting? Because the judge already made the decision yesterday. But again, when we last checked this morning, that hearing is still scheduled for 9 o'clock this morning. So basically, just to break down what this judge decided, she is extending this temporary restraining order that prevents the National Guard from essentially hitting the streets here in Chicago and the surrounding suburbs. Now, the judge is extending the blocking of this troop deployment for 30 days. She did so with an agreement from the Trump administration. Both sides agreed to let the Supreme Court decide whether to allow troops into the Chicago area. Former Chicago federal prosecutor Ron Safer, he believes President Trump will win in court.
I would think that they will give the federal government the authority to call in the troops because they are giving wide berth to what the Trump administration wants to do.
So as far as how we got here, the Trump administration has said it sent in the troops to protect federal agents and property because of protests over increased immigration enforcement. Opponents say this is just a way the president can deploy his own personal army of sorts into democratically run cities. When it comes to the Supreme Court, the majority of the 9-member court, the justices, are Republican appointees. 3 of them, Patrick, were appointed by Trump himself. So we'll have to see when they could possibly rule on something like this.
How could a ruling work if the Supreme Court does take up this issue?
Well, you had a chance to hear from the former federal prosecutor, and so he says it could likely go one of 2 ways. One would be the court could just essentially make a ruling on what is happening here in Metro Chicago, or it could really expand this to hear even more oral arguments, meaning they would hear much more in court in front of those justices. And something like that, he says, Patrick, could take several months. So we'll have to wait and see.
All right, we'll see what happens. Thanks for the update, Lisa.